Hello, everyone. My name is Paul. I'm with Inside Out, and nice to see everybody here on this Sunday morning for some mindfulness. This is something we're going to be offering going forward. We're going to be doing a 60 to 75 minute workshop on basic mindfulness every Sunday morning. So wonderful if you could join us and spread the word. So today's practice is just going to include a few of the items. I'm going to run through typically how we would do one of these little sessions, which is I'm going to open it with a grounding exercise, which takes about 5 minutes. And then we're going to discuss one of the many, many little principles of mindfulness. We'll just pick one a week, like equanimity or non-judgment, or what to do when our thoughts wander, which mine do all the time. And I've learned over the years that it's perfectly natural. We have a wandering mind. We just need to accept that. So we'll discuss a principle there. And then I'll do about a 15 to 25-minute meditation. Today we'll try loving kindness one. It takes about 15, 16 minutes. And then I leave you with just a mindful tip for the week. And that's about it. It's usually about a wrap within an hour. Many of you may have practiced mindfulness before. Some of you may not, but basically it's a practice that I love and certainly passionate about, and certainly brought my life enrichment. I look at it as noticing thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations, right? The three basically human things, right? Like we have a body, we have aches and pains, we have emotions, and we have thoughts, and we notice them, right? And it sounds really simple, like, yeah, so what? But it's actually fascinating because when we notice them, they don't go away, but we change our relationship to them. It's just a space kind of forms. And we do that on purpose, non-judgmentally in the present moment. So those are the three elements of mindfulness. Anyways, welcome. And we will, at this point, I think I'd like to just invite you to do our little 5-minute grounding exercise. So I'm just going to ask you, if you're sitting in your chair, just to sit up nice and straight with your back straight and sort of shoulders squared, but not too rigid. You want to be relaxed and alert. And if you're sitting on the ground, that's fine too. Just bring a little posture there that's relaxed and alert. And I like to just open my hands like this so I can feel the air kind of coming in through my fingers, putting them on my lap. Just to take a few deep breaths and close your eyes if you're comfortable. And if you're not comfortable, that's totally fine. Just lower your gaze kind of over your nose. Take a few deep breaths in through your nose. And exhale. I just want you to just relax, just slacken the jaw. Let it hang open. And I want you to bring your attention, bring that awareness to your feet on the floor. And if they're not on the floor, just bring your attention to your feet on the mat or the carpet. And I just want you to hold your feet into your awareness. Now, that's the first thing about mindfulness, is awareness is not thinking. It's not thinking, analyzing, rationalizing. It's just experiencing, just holding it in the light of your awareness. It won't be anything major. Maybe you'll just feel a little tingling or numbness in your feet. You might feel a little circulation. Just a very, very, just hold that. I like to look at awareness as like this inner light we have, like this inner light, almost like a little flashlight. So I want you to move that flashlight up to your buttocks, where they're sitting on a chair or the floor. And again, I want you to hold that area. It could be your inner thighs. You should feel some pressure coming down from just gravity. And again, there's no home runs, nothing earth-shattering, just a feeling there. And now I want you to slide that awareness up to your left hand. And ideally it's open and relaxed, it's not in a fist. And I want you to hold that again in the light of your awareness. Now, we have busy, powerful minds, and thoughts are going to come and go. You might start to think about your hand or anything, a cup of coffee, uh, the weather, the rent, anything. That's totally fine. When the thoughts come, and they will eventually, just notice them, fully nod your head at them, just go, aha, and then gently slide the awareness back to your hand in this case. And we're going to move the awareness over to your right hand. Again, you might feel a little tingling or numbness. You may even feel some air around the fingers. We'll slide it back to your left hand again. Now we're going to pull back to both hands. That's the other thing about awareness is it's like a flashlight, but it's also like a camera. We can pan back and kind of go wherever we want. So just pan back and hold both hands in your awareness. And then I want you to slide it up to your jaw. Just hold your jaw. Just if you feel clenching or tightness, just breathe into that and hold it. So you might feel clenching, but then you've actually introduced the lightness of awareness to that. And now I want you to move into your nose, the inside of your nose, and just breathe in. Draw a nice few deep breaths, and I want you to notice the cool of the air going in and the warmer air going out. And again, we're not thinking, we're not analyzing, conceptualizing, predicting. We do that all day long. That's great. But right now, we're just experiencing. Is the air like a little river, like a little stream of oxygen coming in? Can you feel it on the upper roof of your nose or towards the back of your throat, or where exactly? And lastly, we're going to pan way, way back like a camera. We're going to zoom back, and I want you to hold your whole body as if you're looking at yourself like down and behind, just your entire structure, the skeletal, the muscles, everything. Feeling gravity pulling it down, all the aches and pains in your body. Just hold them in the light of your awareness. Okay, and you can open up your eyes slowly at this point, and no rush. Okay, I can actually feel that My neck actually is, I got some stress in the back of my neck from a couple of days ago. I can still feel it. It's interesting, but it feels a bit looser. Yeah, so, I mean, that's just a little taste of, I think that should be about 5 minutes or so. And that's one of the things about mindfulness is, it can be practiced in these long, more formalized settings, like say a body scan, which can take upwards of 20, 25 minutes. But it doesn't have to be. I mean, you could do that in your car, in a parking lot. You could be literally anywhere. And if you just have 5 minutes, you do this little grounding exercise. And for me, it helps, I don't know, it helps introduce a looseness in me from the, like a looseness from the inside out. There's that inside out. There you go, Barry, you got your plug there. But that's what it does for me. So if I'm feeling like anxious and upset, or and I know it now, I have all kinds of switches and gauges, and I go, okay, oh, there's the clenching. Oh, there's the, I can actually introduce this, and it certainly helps. So that's the grounding exercise. So yeah, so for today, I hadn't really thought too much. I'm going to, let me know if you can see my screen here. I'm going to walk through a principle or two here. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to actually just go back to the breathing here because I think that's pretty important. Today we'll just talk about breathing, and chime in with any comments too or questions. Feel free to do that. If you're looking at your screen here, this is something that, I mean, this to me was a revelation, honestly, a number of years ago, is learning how to deep breathe. And so you'll see a picture here, and so many of us, all the time, if we're not really aware, we breathe from really, really shallow, right up here, like if you can see me now, like just kind of like that, right? And that's set up, like that's a stress breathing, and it actually helps us in a stressful situation, and that's fine. But the thing is if we make a lifestyle out of that, and we learn to just do that all the time, where we breathe sort of shallow, it's not as good for us. It doesn't relax us as much. And it took me many years to discover this diaphragmatic breathing. And at first I thought it was just sort of like, making your abdomen stick out kind of like a balloon like this, if you can see me here. But it actually is not. That's secondarily. What it is you push down towards the ground, like up and down, almost like a piston in your car goes up and down. So that here, what that does is you push it down here, and secondarily that your stomach gets bigger and bigger, and it feels absolutely amazing. And this is something that I've introduced into my life like all day long. Like I have to remember to do it. So sometimes I'll leave Post-it notes or my little beeper because I will forget. But when I do it, basically sit up like this. And if you want to actually practice with me now, just take a deep breath, maybe 5 seconds, and just go. And a full exhale. So you're pushing to the ground. Sometimes I get ridiculous about it. I just go like, and I just, it's like it's going to go through the floor. And I just hold it gently, and then I just go. And that's like an exhale. Now, during the practice of mindfulness, you don't need to do this. But what I find helpful is before the actual session, to actually set me up to relax a little bit more, I find this is really helpful. I don't know exactly what it does internally. I imagine it releases all kinds of, I don't know, anti-stress hormones potentially, but maybe some of you know, but physiologically, it certainly helps me. And this is diaphragmatic breathing here. So yeah. Does any of you practice this kind of breathing, or is that something you practice?
I do.
Uh-huh.
And I do different types of breathing. So there's a book that one of my karate teachers suggested to read. It's a whole book about breath. and I have a long history of breathing. We teach inhaling, expanding, so not just the chest, but the belly. And then we contract. It's interesting that you have that arrow down. And as you were talking, I contract, and I saw this really interesting YouTube video how the pelvic floor is like the floor of a barrel, which is our core, right? So we expand our lungs by inhaling. We expand all parts of our lungs by inhaling more, and then exhale, because we apparently we don't use all of our lungs. We don't. There's stale air in there. That's what I've learned, but I'm not knowledgeable enough yet. I have to read that book. But I used to have asthma, bad asthma, as a 12-year-old. So I had years of breathing therapy.
Wow.
Where I learned to clear all my lungs. And interestingly, now that I've studied karate for many, many years, that system of breathing has always been part, and originally karate, Japanese karate that I do, comes from China. So the Chinese have done this forever to clear all the lungs. Let's say you have, like I had asthma, you're prone to bronchitis and pneumonia. You have to really clear your lungs and the bronchial tubes and have the opportunity to then inhale fresh air. And I think it's a whole combination of clearing the lungs of stale air, so you get more energy, you're healthier. But you tell me, because you do it from a perspective from meditation. I don't know if I contract, I can't visualize putting my diaphragm down. I'm now going to try that. But it's just contracting. It's so cool because it's all rooted in Asian knowledge, right?
That's amazing. That's amazing. So this clearing, does that happen during the exhale? Like, is that because there's a lot of people who say the exhale should be like a second or two longer than the inhale.
Yeah, exactly. So you inhale. I have learned, because of years of breathing therapy, inhale in the chest. And visualize inhaling into your rib cage, because that's the side of your lungs. Inhale. Inhale into the belly. Hold. And then exhale. Contract the belly, rib cage, chest. It's just so cool that all these different approaches, I think, tend to do that. And in the same time, you strengthen your stomach muscles and your back muscles and your
the core. For sure, absolutely. That's very, very interesting, very, very helpful. There's many parallels there for sure. Absolutely. It's just amazing how, I mean, we all breathe, but how little we actually pay attention. I mean, this was a revelation to me. It's like, what? I know how to breathe, but well, apparently I was breathing shallow for many, many decades, because that's just the way I learned to breathe. So yeah, thank you very much for sharing that, Inga. Thank you. Yeah, so at this point, so typically during class, I would just start to, like, we would have a discussion, something like this, and then I'm going to lead. This morning, I've chosen a loving kindness meditation, which is about 15 minutes or so. And I think we'll just do that. So if you want to get comfortable, it'll be 15 minutes. So I would suggest snuggling into your chair or your mat and getting comfortable. I'm going to stop sharing here, and I'm going to turn my camera off. And yeah, so just, okay. So typically, I mean, this loving kindness visualization, it's more of a visualization here. And sorry, I had to clear my throat there. I find it's good for times when we need to cultivate our inner light, that inner warmth, that loving kindness, which is always inside of us, right? I just think we forget about that, but it's always there. It's that inner light, that inner warmth, whatever you want to call that. But it gets covered up so quickly with our stress and worries. And so I find that if I'm having a day when my peace has been like obscured by worry, fear, or anger, or just blah, I find that this can really center me, and I find it helpful. And it's weird. It's kind of like it somehow gently pierces that energized wall of rumination. And again, there, Barry, it's I like it because it comes from the inside out. So the idea here is we recreate some somatic experiences that are meaningful to us, and we don't just see; we actually feel the good news, that warmth, that loving kindness is available from within us. Okay. So as always with mindfulness, there's no quick fixes. We're not trying to put a lid on pain or get rid of something. We're just dipping our toe and opening up to loving kindness. That's all we're doing. Okay, so if you feel any dizziness or you're uncomfortable, just feel free to stop at any time. Take a few breaths and just feel free to rejoin us if you choose. And yeah, lastly, if you have to jump off the call for any reason, again, that's no problem. That's cool. So settling into a comfortable, relaxing position, which in mindfulness is the sweet spot, I like to look at it, of between being relaxed and alert. Relaxed and alert. We're not trying to zone out or fall asleep, and we're not too rigid and too devout and posturing like a piece of board. We're not that. We're in the middle somewhere between relaxed and alert. So back fairly straight, shoulders down, eyes closed preferably, or gaze softened, and just draw in some nice deep breaths like we were just talking about. And then you'll allow your breath to find its own natural rhythm. Let your jaw relax and clench your hands. And just, make sure your cell phone is off. And if you're wearing a belt, loosen it. Just stay loose. Forget about your entire history. Forget about the last 20 years, the last 2 years, the last 2 weeks, the last 2 days. Let's forget about the last 2 minutes. Just you're here right now. And I want you to gently scan your mind now. I want you to pick a person in your life who you absolutely love to remember. I mean, you love it. You know the kind, you know the person. And when you recall them, there's that instant good feeling. It might be a parent, either alive or from the past, or a friend, or a grandma, or a neighbor, a manager, really anyone, even a pet. Just someone that is or was easy to love, and they loved you. And just when you do that, I want you to feel the buoyancy that arises, the warmth as you bring them into your awareness. And I want you to imagine them in front of you and feel the warmth that they stir up in you. Think of your love for them and hold that feeling. And that's the loving kindness, this warm compassion. So just picture them in front of you in a chair. I want you to hold the feeling, and I want you to share some of that back to them. And you can do that by repeating, "May you have abundance." You can just repeat this along with me to yourself. silently. May you have abundance. May you be safe. May you have light. May you live with ease. Okay, we'll switch it up and we'll try another. I want you to picture yourself giving a gift to someone during a meaningful time, like a birthday or Christmas morning or a holiday that you celebrate. Just imagine the feeling of giving a gift when it's really meaningful to someone, and you knew that they were about to open it. They're like, and you're watching them, and they're just like, again, it could be a friend, son, daughter, parent. They're unwrapping it, and their eyes are just lighting up. They're overjoyed. And as you reflect on this, how did it feel right before you were giving it? And as you gave it? And the warmth afterwards, the exchange, warmth in your heart, that feeling in your body, how did that feel? The sense of joy, the love, the caring, that's loving kindness. So we're cultivating these feelings. We're recreating them. Now again, picture that person in front of you in a chair. May you have abundance. Say it again. May you be safe. May you have light. May you live with ease. Okay, now we'll change it up, change gears here, and I want you to think about the last time you were with a friend, or I'm saying friend, it could be anyone really, and you laughed your head off. I mean, you were absolutely on the floor laughing, just uh, just laughing, like with absolute abandon. And I want you to reflect on that time. It could even be a Zoom meeting. I actually did that about 6 months ago. We were just killing ourselves, laughing so hard. I want you to recall that that sense of levity, that sense of joy. And I want you to hold that feeling. It's that however you want to look, that levity, that feeling of lightness, that wonderful moment. And I want you to picture that person in front of you and offer them, may you have abundance. May you be safe. May you have light. And may you live with ease. Yeah. So now I want you to think of someone who you know who may need some help right now. Maybe someone in your life who's struggling, or received some bad news, or maybe is alone. I want you to bring them up into your mind's eye. And this person, I want you to hold them from your loving caringness. Again, just hold them from that light, that loving kindness. And visualize them again in front of you and offer them. May you have abundance. May you be safe. May you have light. May you live with ease. It's interesting. You know, we can share these feelings with others who we love and who love us and who we laugh with. We can share them with others who are hurting, who 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 are alone. And we can do that with all of our heart, right? And if we can do that, why don't we often share just as easily the loving kindness with ourselves? Why is that? We often don't. It's like everybody but us. So I want to picture yourself as one of these people. And yeah, you have parts of yourself that need attention. And I want you to softly repeat those words. And that, more than the words, those feelings really, back at yourself. May I have abundance. May I be safe. May I have light. And may I live with ease. And lastly, I want you to think about someone who you've had maybe some difficulty with or are having difficulty with. It could be anyone, like a colleague, family member, partner, or spouse, or friends, and where it's causing you stress. And again, just I'll let you think of someone. And I want you to picture themselves in front of you in a chair. And again, I want you to direct some of that warm, loving awareness, that warm, loving kindness to them too. May you have abundance. May you be safe. May you have light. May you live with ease. And if it's difficult to direct that with them, if you see that there's a little resistance, that's okay. Just breathe with them. Just breathe with that. And just know that many people who hurt are likely hurting themselves or shut down in some way. Really, that's all we need to know. And I invite you to take some breaths and slowly you can open up your eyes, and there's no need to rush. You can take your sweet time. And I'll sit for a moment in that stillness, that spaciousness. Yeah, I mean, I find with that one, as well as other mindfulness practices, it's like we make an investment in ourselves. You know, I think it's really good for us to bring that inner light, spirit, whatever you want to call the word, gold, warmth, love, to the fore. We just, just keep it at the fore. And boy, if we could ever remember that throughout the day, things would be a whole lot different. But this is one of the reasons why we practice it, is we just have to remind ourselves who we are, that we have access to that place. We might have fear, we might have anger, but we are actually when that place where we touch that somatic experience, however you want to define it. Yeah, so I hadn't really planned an exercise, but what I would leave you with at this point is, sometimes throughout the week, I practice what I find helpful is 5 senses, and it's very, very quick. Well, it can be as long as you want. It can be as short as 2 minutes, or it can be, there's 5 senses, right? Sight, sound, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. So if you spend 3 minutes, I guess, on each one, that would be 15 minutes. But typically, I find it a really, really helpful practice where I just look around the room. This is just like an exercise for, if you remember this during the week, or I can send it to you. Actually, you can do it right now. Just have a look around your room. Just going to sit up just for 20 seconds. Literally, just look around, maybe 30. And just look at the shadows, at the colors, textures, and just notice something you might not have ever noticed before, even though you've sat there 1,000 times. Again, that's awareness. That's sight. Smell is just, even if there's no smell, like I actually can smell a little bit of my coffee right now, which I think I brewed it very strong. Even if there's no smell, just that feeling of the moist inside your nose. Sound could be a car outside, or I hear the hum of the heating right now. Taste is, again, whatever in your mouth, or the feelings at the side of your tongue. A lot of people report like tanginess. And touch. It could be as simple as the air on your nose, or on your skin, or your gravity pushing your bum down. It's a wonderful practice. Those, just the 5 senses, because we don't spend a lot of time in our senses. We go throughout the day in our minds, but when we actually, when you withdraw attention from your mind and you actually put it in your senses, the 5 senses, it's grounding. Yeah, I find it really helps me, and it doesn't have to take long. It can take like 2 minutes. Yeah, so that's about it for today. Where are we at? We're at 9:01. And I hope you enjoyed that, everybody. And Barry, I think we're going to be offering this every Sunday morning. And this is the kind of thing that we'll be exploring. So I'll try to mix up a different meditation each time. Sometimes I'll repeat myself, but it'll just be the way it goes.